Had an incredible press conference today with a lot of great news on a lot of big games. And my next guest is a gaming industry icon that needs little introduction, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. 32 years ago, he set out with his 4 brothers to found a games company, and today it's one of the biggest in the world. Still independent, and we're proud of him, coming directly from their press conference, the co-founder and CEO of Ubisoft, our friend and a regular here on YouTube Live at E3, Yves Guillemot. Yves, great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
I know, we got you, we got Marshmallow, we got Ninja, we got everyone we need here. So right off stage as always, this year Ubisoft, last year you guys announced a ton of games, lots of things. This year, you did a lot of updates on some of those games. Tell us about your sort of philosophy about how you wanted to approach E3 this year for Ubisoft.
You know, what we wanted to show is where we were in the advancement of all those games.
Yeah.
And you could see really the progression on all of them.
Yep.
So they are coming along very well.
Absolutely, coming along very, very well. But sometimes I think the gamers, they have this insatiable appetite. They always want, new things being announced and whatnot. Did you think about, you usually have that one more thing at the end sometimes.
Yeah, but you don't have to have one more thing all the time.
That's true.
But what is important for us is really to have gamers to work with us,
yes,
to create those games. That's why we show them early,
yep,
so that they can have a say in what's going to be done in the game. So that's why PG&E teams announced their new Hit Record announcement today.
No, that's great. And you said I think it's a more collaborative development process now with gamers and the developers sharing. I think you guys had some great examples today. For Honor, Rainbow Six, these are games that continue to have communities that live on, and For Honor is a great example of a game, came out, still being played, and even Rainbow Six, it's bigger than ever.
That's
many years, I mean, it's almost two and a half years after it came out, right?
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. The goal is really to take that time to improve those games.
Yes.
Listen to how they are, played.
Yeah.
And act so that they can get better and better all the time.
Now, the fans were hoping for Splinter Cell to return. You did Michael Ironside and the Ghost Recon DLC. Are we going to get another Splinter Cell soon, do you think?
So we love the brand first.
Yeah.
We really want to come back with it at one point, but I can't say much today.
All right, but that was great to see Michael, so I'm sure, you said, eventually you'll get to it, and that's what gamers want to hear. You recently spoke publicly about the idea that there might only be one more console generation. A lot of news around that idea.
Yes.
I think a lot of gamers here, not that they're worried, but I think they're curious what that really means. So maybe you talk a bit about that. Do you think everything's going to move to sort of more of a cloud or streaming future after, the next PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox?
I think first what we have to consider is when technology will be ready, we will move. Because we want the best multiplayer for our games, so 5G is coming,
yes,
but it has to come and be very powerful and do the job properly. So for single-player games, it will come earlier than for multiplayer games, like Internet. If you remember a long time ago when it came in, the fighting game, the shooting games were not well adapted. Yeah. I think streaming is going the same, step by step. It's really going to take all the genres. Yeah.
And when you think of, what the next PlayStation, the next Xbox will be, as a publisher, what do you want to see in those systems? How do you think the industry is going to evolve before we get to that streaming future? What's going to be sort of the stopgap in between?
In fact, what we want is enough power, so we can have characters, AI of the non-playing characters that are really believable, that you can feel that the interaction you have with people is like with real humans. So the world is reacting like a real world. All the systems are interlaced so that they can feel, you can feel like if you were in something believable.
A living
world. So there's no limit in the power we can get.
A lot of excitement around, obviously, Fortnite, Battle Royale games, that game mode. We've seen a lot of their publishers, Activision, EA, talk about doing, Battle Royale modes. I'm sure that's somewhere in your plans, but tell us a bit about the idea of Battle Royale. You have a lot of franchises that seem like they could lend themselves to that type of gameplay. What can we expect?
So first, we love what they have been able to achieve. Yeah. The fact that you can play with your friends and that you can have a different strategy, a different type of gameplay is something we love, and you will see Ubisoft taking advantage of taking those ideas in our games. So step by step, we love accessibility and this diversity in the possibilities to act in games.
But nothing announced yet in terms of like whether it would be in Division or Ghost Recon or any of those franchises, right?
Not yet, but
everyone's working back in the labs.
Yeah, we are looking at all the innovations that are really making those games better. So,
well, I mean, let's talk about the state of the industry, because you've always been so kind to come by and talk to us about state of games. We see the success of Fortnite and how huge that is. The Switch doing well for Nintendo. How do you feel about the game industry in general right now? It's changing, but it seems like it's bigger than ever.
Yeah, it's changing, and it's becoming more worldwide as well. So the fact that Nintendo came with mobility, with the Switch, the fact that PC business is also growing everywhere in the world, is giving all the publishers enough capacity enough finance actually to create even better games, because they are sold in more countries to more people. So it's a booming industry today. Lots of creativity, and we haven't seen what it's going to become.
I don't think so. And you get showed so many great games across so many different franchises. Tell us about the decision for Assassins to make what, I guess, at least annual this year with that franchise, because you've sort of played with some different business models. Do you still think down the road, annualizing franchises like that, will you go back to that? Or do you think some of these franchises will become more games as a service, experiences?
We think that first, the Assassin's Creed brand is coming back this year because Quebec had been working on the game for 3 years.
3 years, you said, Jonathan.
And they were ready to come, so they are coming. Yeah. We are just now considering, the brand and the teams, and when they are ready, they can come. So it's a different approach than the one we had before. So you will see some years, but it won't be
every year.
Every year.
What about Watch Dogs? We see that again, do you think?
We will, we will see. We have a good team looking at what to do on the different brands we have. Yeah. So.
Yeah. One thing is you have so many great brands. That's why it's sort of hard to pick, which ones you do, and you can alternate a bunch of them. And in some ways, creatively, the best idea can sort of then, bring a game to life. If you need to, we don't have to do every brand every year, which is nice.
What is good is we are very influenced by the feedback from players and the feedback from the teams also. They pick up what they want to do, where they feel they can express themselves well. Yeah. And that is actually a big weight in the decision making.
One thing that I think we've seen is accessibility in games, with something like Fortnite being free to play. That's really opened it up to so many more people. Cross-playing, playing with their friends. Do you think the free-to-play model is something that you guys want to experiment more with at Ubisoft?
Free-to-play already exists on mobile, and we had free-to-play games with Ghost Recon in the past, Ghost Recon Phantom. Yeah. So we are not close to that. You will see some of our games that will use that route, but the goal is to actually have a big diversity in the portfolio, so that we can we can use the best approach for each experience.
Wow. And again, it was so amazing to have Mr. Miyamoto there with you guys today. You've developed a really special relationship with Nintendo over these years, and that's something very important to you and Serge and the whole team there. But to have Star Fox tied to Starlink, the Donkey Kong DLC for Rabbids. Tell us about, what can we expect from Ubisoft for Switch in the years ahead?
First, we have this game coming, Starfleet. And yes, we are big fans of Mr. Miyamoto. Yes. From in the last 30 years, we've been looking at what he was doing, and we learned a lot from him. So being able to approach him and his teams, is really something that is a wonderful experience for all the teams in Ubisoft. They love to collaborate, to learn from him, and this time again on Star Fox, it's a good way to
there he is right there.
To learn from him.
Yeah, amazing moment. Do you think Assassin, some of these other bigger brands now as Switch continues to grow? Do you think you're going to start to bring a lot of the other Ubisoft brands to Switch, or are you finding more it's like custom, one-off games are what works best for the Switch audience?
We need to make sure that the brands are well adapted to the machine,
yeah,
and that they will fit with the public as well. So when we decide to go on the machine, we take in consideration those elements and also the capacity of the machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to talk a bit about Ubisoft expanding into other divisions. Speaking of the Division, you've got the Division movie, I think, Jake Gyllenhaal. There's lots of cool news around that. Tell us about what can we expect from Ubisoft properties and sort of other fields of entertainment in the years ahead.
The goal is to use all the fields of entertainment to actually enhance the
brands,
recognition of the brands, and so that we can teach people who, what are those brands, and many people don't play yet. And if they can watch a movie or a TV series, maybe they will come and join with games. Yeah. So that's most of it. That's what we want to do. So we will have TV series and movies. Yeah. And we are also doing attraction parks also, so that you will see a little bit of that. And we use the possibility to do VR, to go VR, and to have new experiences as well.
So movies, what's the next one you think is going to happen? I know sometimes, Hollywood, lots of things in development, but yeah.
It's a very different world. So, with Hollywood, you never know when things are going to happen. When we create games, we know when we start.
You control
everything. We don't
everything.
always know when we finish, but at least it's under our control. Yeah. With Hollywood, it's different.
Yeah, all right. Well, it was great to see so many amazing games from Ubisoft. You guys got a lot of playable games over there, a lot of cool partnerships. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Elijah Wood. It's awesome to see how you guys are innovating across so many different dimensions. So congratulations on a great E3, Yves.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've got much more.